Hello, hello, and welcome back to the new episode of Getting This Vehicle Done. First of all, thank you very much for all your comments that are until now, and for following and for watching the videos. That gives me, um, I would say, the confidence that things are going well, and you are interested and you have something to learn out of them. So that's really nice. Just going through what we were doing yesterday. So we've built this feature in here that goes right at the top. And we saw that we have two surfaces, well, not two, a few of them, a few, yeah, a few surfaces that would be common with the main body. And we also discovered that SolidWorks doesn't know when it has the same identical surfaces. It doesn't know to manage that, which is quite a useful information, despite it means that we will have to work more for it. Still, it means that, well, at least we will be limited in what we can do. Now, there would be a few ways again to manage this kind of situations. And one of them, I was looking earlier, I think it was in mesh modeling. Yeah, so if you would have two bodies which would be solids, then you could potentially use the command join, and I would think that then SolidWorks would consider the identical surfaces to be only one. But for now, we're not going to do that simply because I still want to have the control, and try to keep the number of parts as low as possible. I don't want to spend my time navigating through the parts just so that two surfaces are at the same place. That would be a little bit of madness. So instead of that, what we are going to do, we are going to try to find a different way of joining all this together so that we don't suffer from the drawbacks that SolidWorks has. So the first thing that I have noticed is that first of all in here, right, because I'm using one of the surfaces that I created earlier to make the chamfer, I'm going to have that kind of corner in here, and of course it's very visible the fact that this surface in here is not quite in continuity with with its symmetry, but that's not a problem that cannot be fixed later on. So I will take care of that later. But here in this situation, we can do two things, especially not having having a design that is not really defined at the back. It can have any shape we want at the back. At the end of the day, it's up to us. So here we can choose to make an offset of this surface in here that for now it is showing not being in continuity with its symmetry, and offset this differently and use it as an input for our feature and create a step right there at the back. So we can have something like that, and in this way it could be more interesting towards the back, and it could also um, create a similar design language with what we have at the front. So we could do that, or we could just keep it simple and cut it with the surface that we have in here. But I do like the steps that we have overall. I do like that idea of having that step. So I'm very, very tempted to do exactly that. But for now, I would say let's go and jump into modifying this surface in here that is not very, very well done with or in continuity. And at least in this way, before deleting the symmetry, we can continue. So let's jump in and do exactly that. I think this one it was, yes. So I would say in here, I don't want in continuity, I want it to be in curvature. and it should, yeah, of course, it's not going to allow me to do it anymore. Okay, so let's not do that just yet. So I'm going to just select these points in here, and well, I'm going to move them just lower to make sure that I am arriving to increase the chances to have that continuity that I want. Most probably it's not going to be done yet, so I will have to make a join first to see how it goes. Merge entities, yes, merge entities. And most probably we will still need to do some things around. Oh no, actually, I don't see any kind of cut in it. I can see the fillet in here. Something weird is happening there too. Well, it means that it's that kind of simple to create this stuff by having those direct editing onto the surfaces, which is really nice, really powerful. So if I'm going to evaluate, I should be able to see directly on the zebra strips. Yeah, it is in continuity, so I don't have a problem with it. That's cool. That's good. Easy fixed. I like when we have things that can be fixed so easily with just simple stuff. So now I'm having this in here, and for some reason that fillet is not going all the way, and I want to see why that is happening. Ah, I see. That is simply because the curve that I generated in here at the back is not going quite to the top. So we can unhide the sketch that we have in here, and we should be able to see this curve. There you go. So this curve is really only just slightly up to the top, which is not good. All right. So I don't need to go into the sketch to modify the thing. I press Ctrl B and it should update automatically. There you go. And it did. That's great. If you don't know how you can modify things on the fly without being into a sketch, go and check out my previous videos. I did explain what are the options, what are the buttons that you need to press for that. It should be somewhere in the very first videos. Okay, and I'm also having the same problem in here with this surface, so I can do exactly the same. And yeah, I mean the amount of pain in which I went through to create surfaces that will be perfectly continuous using sketches is far bigger than modifying the surfaces using this command freeform. So I really like the fact that we have freeform in Solidworks. It's not, the most advanced thing to have, but still it's far better than what it was. Then it is far better than not having it. All right, and I can see where the problem is. So I'm getting down with this surface, but however, the tangent handles into here, they are quite high. So, and I think that my problem is not with those. My problem is with these. No, I think they are both really. So I'm going to address them both at the bottom and at the top. It may need a little bit of fine tuning, more fine tuning, really, but I will just leave it for now to see where I arrived with. Let's see. Yeah, I'm still seeing it. So if we get the zebra stripes, yeah, you see there is a slight discontinuity in there. Okay, so we may need to, where are we? Ah, we are on the other side. Okay, so we may need to do some tricks to get to it faster. So if I'm putting this in curvature now on that side, it should keep everything like before, push down and all that. However, no other lines in here anymore. So if I'm putting the zebra stripes and deselecting it, yeah, I can see everything is in continuity. So all good, all fine. All right, so now we solved that. And before starting to cut these with other surfaces and force SolidWorks to accept whatever we did, I'm thinking that here at the back, I don't like the fact that this surface offset, I want to have a bigger offset. So if I'm choosing, I don't know, 150 to be double, I should be able to see, yeah, there will still be the same surfaces around. Yeah, and I can still see this surface in here, not being completely straight. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm having a step which I'm fine with. I do want to have more or less the same step. I don't like the curvature of this surface, so I will want to address that a bit. So let's see. So this would be the offset. Can I see the parents of it? How can I see the parents? Not suppress. Let's see. Well, I think I can just go into offset 50 and see which one I used. It's a fillet 9. Okay, that's cool. Is it? Fillet 9. Why would I use fillet 9? Okay, so let's go and see which surfaces we used. I think they are they are the surfaces that we had previously done for making this chamfer. So it is one of the very first free forms. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So if I'm getting this free form, let's see what it is wrong. So what do I have in here? It's not that one being wrong. It's a bit too much of a curvature from this one in here, which of course it's an offset from someone else, from freeform 10. Okay, so the freeform 10, it may be a little bit too curved. So it's something that I don't like. Let's see, where is freeform 10? Let's search for freeform 10. All right. So we have freeform 10, and yeah, I can see it's a little bit too curved. But that should be a part of, should have as an input an extrude. So if I'm looking at this extrude, yeah, and unhide the sketch, yeah, I can just go and edit it as it is. Again, we created them to be curved, but I didn't think too much or overthink. I didn't want to overthink the amount of curvature that I would want to have. I wanted to have some curvature, but the idea is to build a system that we can adapt afterwards. And there you go. That's all done in here. Now what I don't like still is what's happening in here with that surface. So if I am going to just slightly touch on this one in here and on the other side as well. Not a lot. I think if I am going to put this in curvature as well, would help me a bit more. Of course, Solidworks will have to reconstruct everything. And for now, all done, all good. All right, good. So I had to click outside. Solidworks. I did say I don't want to see them. Good. Yeah, it doesn't listen very well, isn't it? Okay, so that would be it. I'm just trying to check just to make sure I don't see some seams around the right in the middle, because I want to have that one sorted already. I do see that we have this not matching, but I don't care, not just yet about that one. So now, given that SolidWorks doesn't know how to interpret um, surfaces in superposition, then we will be forced to cut the main body and join it afterwards with the one that with the feature that we created in here. And that shouldn't be too complicated, especially given the fact that I'm having in here the surfaces from the main body already created. So we can create a second set of surfaces to cut all these. Or I'm thinking now, could we use the feature that we created just to cut through the main body? So if I'm saying remove, I will say keep. So but before that, my bad, let's delete the join because we don't need it, and the mirror as well. So I don't need it. I adjusted everything I needed. Yeah, good. And now if I am going to use standard and as a trim tool, the feature that I created in here, and as a keep selections, only what I have visible in there, I should have the main body as a surface that will cut through the main feature. Now, if SolidWorks is good enough, it should be able to recognize that I'm having two surfaces. But there you go. I'm still having superposition in here, I think. Do I? Let's see. I need to hide this. So let's check it out. Okay. For some reason, it's still showing one surface in here that is in superposition with the other. Yes. So it did not record what we wanted. Still, despite we said, and that may be because we should choose split hole. And then when we say keep, we should be able, okay, so still not. All right, then let's try with remove instead. And will say, okay, well, we want you to remove this surface in here, which it did select it correctly in here. But then, will we be able to select these ones? I doubt. Yeah, I doubt. So how about, okay, let's see. So now it does look like he identified. No, it doesn't. Okay, not to worry. So that didn't work. That's fine. So now what we can do is to use the same surfaces that we used to cut this, not cut, create the feature to make the cut. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. We could even make a copy of these surfaces and extend them all together to arrive to the same thing. But I don't want to enter into that kind of scenario, because then if anything happens or we need to reselect again, it's going to take a lot of work to do all this. So let's go through the surfaces and make copy of them. So we have this split 30, extrude 36. So if we roll back up to here, make an offset of it in 0. And roll to the end. Oh, actually, I think we were having an extend in here, so we could, yeah, instead of making an offset of this, yeah, let's go to until the extend and delete this offset and create an offset from that extend. Yes, in 0. Okay. Now roll to the end. So that would be my first surface that I can use to cut. And then obviously I have the extrude that I used before in here, so would be extrude 46. So I can get to the extrude 46 and just get an offset. All right, good. And let's see what other surfaces we need for all this. Oh, I think we don't really need any, actually. Yeah, so we could just, let's see. Yeah, we could just go in here and trim both surfaces, saying, it's a standard. No, I want mutual, clear, and I want this one in here to disappear and this one in here to disappear. That's good. Oh, that was selecting which ones I want to stay. Okay, no, remove them. Okay, good. And now we can cut the main body with the ones that we have in there. I just wonder where is my my sketch. Why I cannot see the sketch because I pressed the button in there. Okay, so let's cut this main body in here. At some point I will have to um, remove the cut at the bottom, but anyway. Yeah, so let's see. Okay, so let's trim the main body, not neutral, using this. And I will say from the main body, I just need to see the main body in here. There you go, good. So that one will be removed. Again, I think I was set up on the keep them. No, remove, please. There you go. Okay, so that's removed, which is good because that's what we wanted. So we can remove, we can we can be happy that we removed it. That's good. So now what do we want? Well, we want to cut this feature that we created with the main body, isn't it? Now, again, SolidWorks may be confused about what's happening around the edges. Let's hope he's not, because I really don't want to work extra hard for doing this kind of things. But let's see, let's see. So trim tool would be the main body, and actually this time, yes, I do want to keep, and I will want to keep only these surfaces that I have in here. So let's see if he does that. Okay, and he did. And he did without problems. Well, at least that. Despite I don't like the fact that I had to work extra for something that I know it is possible to be done, I'm fine. Okay, so that means we have the object done in this way. We have that feature done in this way. That's good. So now we can just check it out to see if everything is fine by knit the two surfaces. Can I say merge entities? I think I can. And there you go. Now it did detect as being one single surface after I cut it. It is a shame that SolidWorks doesn't know how to manage surfaces in superposition very well, but hey, still all right. It's about £10 per month for a software that can let you do CAD and design, and is having, is having enough precision to do complex design surfaces in it. So I would say that we shouldn't complain too much. Yeah, £10 per month is not a lot. All right, so now we have our lovely feature created, and of course it doesn't quite look exactly or close to what we need. So if we look on our drawing in here, from here to here, we have this kind of distance. And from here to here, so somewhere around where the fillet is finishing, our feature height should also be finished, isn't it? So that means that this line there should be higher. And I did make this sketch onto a surface, so I have to get into it and adjust it. So I'm going to make this one slightly higher. And I was saying that this in here was quite a bigger distance. Yeah. Okay, I don't want any of the SolidWorks constraints. I just want to move them. So, and I didn't like the fact that they were so curved, so I'm going to reduce their curvature anyway. Again, I'm trying to look, yeah, so I think it should be just fine. So now by adjusting this, I should be just fine with it. I still need a lot more distance in there, isn't it? And I still need to increase the height of that thing. So Yeah, so let's increase the height somewhere around here, and let's move this even more, ignoring other warnings that SolidWorks will give us. Okay, just bit by bit getting to where I want to arrive with those lines. Again, we don't really have sketches to support from the top and from the side, so that's why we created this system, so that we can adjust things the way we want. Okay, so I can see already that I'm losing the curves. They should be on the surface and they aren't anymore. So I will have to see what's going on in there. Why they are not sitting anymore on the surface. So let's get back onto the sketch and let's be a little bit more protective with how we modify the things. So by just moving everything at once instead of making those curves not be on the input surface anymore. There you go. So that worked fine. Now looking again at the distance, I think this time we kind of exaggerated, isn't it? Yes. So just slightly less actually we need. And I can see this curve is not sitting anymore on the input surface. That's fine. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter as long as it gets us to where we need. But I think it will be really good to sit on the surface. So I'm going to select this surface in here and say on surface, please. There you go. Thank you. I don't want to lose that. I mean, you could see already the problems that it can give. All right, so I'm getting back onto the side view and select the curves and push them just a little bit more towards the front this time. So we were a bit exaggerated with that distance. And this curve should also be slightly higher than before. So I'm going to adjust things a little bit in here. And if I look in here, we must pay attention to this distance. To make sure that it's not going to be way over the top. We will see after we commit to these changes now. So let's see. Okay. Okay. So it is updating. Now I'm trying to put it to be somewhere around kind of the same view to make sure that I am having the distances kind of all right. Yeah, I would say I'm fine with that. Here I can see that is way too much, and I can also see that we need to pay attention to this line that we have in there. Yeah, so it's a fine line. It looks like a 1 to 2/3 of the length for this feature in here. So definitely we need to push this curve higher and this curve more towards the end. So from here it will be a lot of adjustments just simply because we don't have the supportive sketches, the side view sketches, for example, and top view. So what we were saying, that we need to be longer, and I'm not sure if we were saying that we need to be also higher. Let's see. Well, there you go. Now it starts to look more like this. Of course, I don't like the way it's curved in here, but not to worry. That's something that we can always address later. So what do I want? Do I want it slightly higher as a curve? I don't think I want it higher. I just want to be more neat, more less curved. It's a little bit exaggerated, and maybe, you know, curved differently, not just having a equal bow as a curve. So I'm going to do something like this, and I will want to have it like it's going down, so that it's not like completely straight. So now I'm going to, okay, he will say that, I cannot make that constraint because you are in a 3D sketch and that curve is far away, but we can get it as close as possible to the center so we don't work too hard. Okay, so the center is somewhere else, not there. That's fine. So we can get it as close as possible. Do I like the fact that this is going down? It looks quite straight, really. So I'm not sure that I would like to go down like that. No, I don't. So I'm going to go back and make that curve go up and to be kind of equal. Or let's say straight, kind of straight. Okay, something like that. And I remember that in here, this was way lower. Okay. And I don't know, something like this, maybe just a bit more. And let's see. Yeah, it's a bit too curved still. And if this is curved like that, then this should follow as well. But at least here, I just need a tiny little bit lower. I think I need to cancel Solidworks animations. They start to be a bit annoying. All right, so lower in there, that's fine. That's fine. Lower in here. As well in here. And yes, and I was saying that here we should have it following the curve that is above it rather than being against that curve. So something like that. The only thing that I think is missing now, no, actually it's quite all right as a distance. Okay. All right, well, not too bad, not too bad. So that is the shape as we have now. So we can start implementing some fillets into it. And just checking now, maybe we should have implemented fillets before before cutting them. We will see. Hopefully SolidWorks will be able to manage this without issues. So for example, if I am going to apply a fillet in there, which will have to be quite a big one, like 50, would he be able to do it? Yes. Okay, as expected, he will be able to keep that corner fine. So that's fine. Let's try 300. Yeah, even 300 goes all right. That's cool. At least that. Still don't like the fact that I had to work extra to make the joints, the superpositioned surfaces to be the same. But At least it gets the fillets all right. Right, so we want to have a fillet like that in there, and I think it was 200. Yes, so it was 200 in there. So here probably somewhere around 100 should be just fine. No, actually it would be somewhere around 200 again. So 200 as well. What do I have? So here I have one that is quite large, so it should be somewhere like around 500. There, that's cool. All right, so I will still need to drop that line. That's fine, I can do that anytime. So I'm having 200 in there. What else do I want? I still don't know what to do here at the bottom, so probably I will just cut them out completely and use different other parts to carve through. I can see that I have something like this going up, while here I don't have anything like that anymore. Let's look again. So it goes like this, and then I may need to still cut it through right there. Maybe, maybe not. We will see afterwards. But anyway, so that would be, those would be the fillets in there. Let's see, where else do we have some other fillets that we need to take care of? So we have this. There we don't quite have. Yeah. Well, we should have some in here and some all the way around. Yeah, but here, so first of all, I'm doing here one that shouldn't be that big. Do we want like that, or do we want the other corner? Let's try this corner instead with 50, for example. So 50 here. I will put them equal as well, 50 in there. And then I will use the rest. Okay, so 50 and 50. And now what do I want? I will want in here as well. So the way I am selecting the ones that I want to do is based on how I want the shape to be done. So for example, I choose to do the fillet in here first instead of doing it in here first. I would say, so if you do it in there, let's say like this, then you will depend on what's happening in here to continue the fillet. And you see, I don't quite like the way it goes in here. I mean, I would say based on experience, in this case, it may not be so important, but I have a way of doing the fillets, of going through first the edges of the shapes and then building the ones that are at the base of the shape, for example. Anyway, so in here I will need probably the same amount of fillet, like 50. And let's see, so it will go like that and it will arrive in there. That's fine. So let's do it the same in there. And there you go. This is one of them that we don't want to have. We don't want to have fillets that are looking like this. We want to have fillets that are looking like that. So when it comes to triangles like this, we will have to make them in a different way, probably using joining, not joining, how they are called, boundary surfaces. We will arrive to that. For now, I'm just checking to see how the shape goes. And another thing that I don't want to have is also this. Oops, let's clear selection. I don't want to have like a triangle in there either. Despite I will have like 20 millimeters and it may not be very visible. I don't like this kind of transitions. They are sharp. They shouldn't go like that. This is not how a nice surface should look like. In here, it's understandable that's how it will result really having in any way you would choose to construct. This is only normal. That's how you will end up having them really. But in here and in here in this area, this is not okay. Anyway, we were doing all these kind of fillets just to understand what we need or where we need to really take care of some stuff. We are not going to commit to them because, well, I'm not sure if we actually finish the design. I want to be as close as possible to what we need to have before starting adding fillets. But we are not too far either. So before continuing, I want to delete these fillets and I want to see if I can arrive to a better compromise in this area there. Would be nice to have something different. And I think the compromise is by doing actually that fillet first. So not the surface, the edge. So if I'm building this like that, and then I'm going to apply a fillet in here, it should still get it kind of all right. Yeah, still better than what it was before. I still don't like the fact that I'm having this in here. And now I wonder if I am going to, for example, freeform the fillet itself. It should let me do it. Yeah, so if I'm keeping curvature and curvature in here, and I'm keeping only that one to be movable, yeah, it's not going to let me do much. So let's keep this one movable and this one movable. I'm curious if SolidWorks would actually update the surface with whatever I am choosing to do in here, relaxing this kind of this fillets around, if he's going to still close the body. So if I'm committing to it right now, let's see if SolidWorks does it. Yes, it does. But of course, it will get me something weird and extending this surface. So definitely I don't want that. Still useful for different stuff. Anyway, in here I can always connect with a curve, cut the surface and blend it to my liking really. Because that is also something that I don't like. But by doing that kind of, by doing it in that way, we can arrive to have this transition in here a little bit better, which is fine. It's again, it's a compromise between how much we should work for small stuff and how much do they contribute at the end, versus, of course, the time that I'm spending to build this and for you to learn from it. So if I am just going to make another fillet to check now how all this will contribute up to the end, because I am having a bigger fillet in there towards the front. So if I'm saying 100, most probably will say no, I cannot build 100, which is fine because I'm having a bigger fillet in here, but here it's sharp, it's not big anymore. So we can always apply, how is it called? Multi-radius fillet, yes. So I can start with 100 in here, and I can say in here I want still 100, but in here I want to have a drop to probably 20. If of course it will want to do it, and in here, so edge, 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 that's good, and in there I will still want to have 20, and in this way, yeah, of course it will say, hey, look, it's way too much to have such big values. So we will have to probably do this manually, which is fine. So at the end of the day, we learn from it. Just checking around to see how things are. I'm quite alright, so we can, I may choose to not even work on this fillet in here so that we don't lose time. It's a small thing. We don't necessarily need to work on everything to be perfect, but we do need to work on the fillet that we have in here. Now, what I want to do before working on anything like this, because that will require quite some time invested, and I'm looking into the time, so we are almost at 1 hour. What I would want to do is to make sure that whatever I use to cut, I don't cut too high before getting into making the fillet in here, the transition that I have in here. And interestingly, in this sketch that the AI did, I can clearly see that I'm having like a sharp fillet fading away into the very big fillet in here, almost like a combination between the two. But that's a lot of noise into surfaces just for that. So it would be really, really nice if we could have a transition somehow, a transition that would give us a pleasant result instead of having this kind of instead of arriving to have how they call it here in UK, a dog's dinner kind of looking surfaces, right? So we don't want anything like that. Okay, so then what should we do? We clearly need something big in here, but we definitely have something very, very small in there. Is there a way to make the transition to be easy? Well, I think the first thing to do is to eliminate the fillet that we have in here. We definitely have a junction of three fillets in which this in here would be far bigger. So what we can do is to make a line, make a cylinder, cut the surfaces completely, join them, and yeah, join them together separately. So what we can do, okay, so but I said before that I want to be sure that whatever I'm using to cut in here is not too high. So let's address that first. What was it called? It was surface to cut the bottom or something like that. I took a note. Yeah, cut at the bottom. Okay. And yeah, it is visible. So let's go in there and oopsie and adjust the height. I want to allow a bit more into the height. so that whenever I need to have, more surfaces at my disposal, I still have, rather than realizing that, oopsie daisy, now I cut too much, I have to go back and all that. Most probably we will not even use this to cut them at all. But anyway, actually, could I just delete this? Before deleting, let's save all on this PC. And maybe I can just delete the surface completely before continuing with anything. But we have things that are depending. No, I'm not going to delete it. I will probably just going to leave it lower for the future. Oh yeah, and move it in here to have enough area for doing whatever fillets I want to do, and as well move it in here. There. All right. So a few minutes I think are left, and let's start in those few minutes to build what we need to build so that we can do the fillets as we want. First, I think what we need to understand is roughly how much we need as a fillet before we do anything, just to have an overall idea. Because definitely it's not 20, it may be 100. Let's see, is it 100? No, actually, it may be even more than 100. So somewhere around 150. So somewhere around 150, we will have something like this. If I'm pressing OK right now, it will tell me probably that no, it will actually try to do it. I would say not bad. I mean, we could cut from here and join the surfaces together somehow. But still, it's not what I want to have. It's not what we should have. It will look ugly. It will look weird. Anyway, so it's 150 definitely. So it's somewhere around there, somewhere around here as how it looks. It's just for us to understand where we need to cut. Okay. All right, so if I'm creating a curve to use for a cylinder, yeah, so let's go into the 3D sketch and create a curve by converting entities. So this, 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 and this. There you go. So I'm converting this into a curve. And then, of course, if I'm creating a cylinder, it will go up to here. So most probably I will not need this curve. But I could build curve on surface or spline on surface, and I could get this from here higher up. For now, yeah, it is on the surface, and for now it does look a little bit strange. Okay, good. So I'm going to adjust the curve. I did want it to be in tangency with the other one. So I'm just going to adjust this to be a bit straight. I don't need something like super precise, but we set all handles, yeah. But I need to go higher up Not sure exactly now how high I need it to be. Do I need it up to here? I don't think so. So I think I need to be like half of what I have. If it will allow me, of course. Yeah, it does. That's good. Yeah, so that when I'm creating a cylinder with a radius of 150 millimeters and cut through everything, I am able to cut up to here. All right. So now, if I remember correctly, if I do a sweep surface and if I select circular profile and select the curve, we should let me select the whole curve there. Still, come on, that's it, good. And if I select 100 and is it a diameter in there? I think I have a diameter, so 300 millimeters for a diameter. There you go. I'm going to get a cylinder, which is what we need because we are going to select the cylinder, use the cylinder to cut through the surfaces so we can join them together later. Now, the only thing that I don't like is this in here that doesn't go through everything correctly. I mean, I want to cut it so that I don't have something like that in there. So what can I do? So I can use it as it is, or I can extend it up. I don't want that either. Hmm. Yeah, I don't want to have that kind of thing in there. Okay. So how about I go back onto the sketch and this time I am going to modify this so that it goes, so that it has kind of a return in there. So that I catch this kind of surface in here. Yeah, it may work, it may work. So we are not going to do it today because we are almost done with the time today. But just for you to understand the principle, I'm going to do what I wanted to show you. And then tomorrow or next time when I continue with the video, we will do it properly, finishing it off. So same surface, I'm just creating the whatever surfaces I need to make sure that I can cut, join whatever I have in here, the cylinder plus the cap that I have in there. I think I could select on the cylinder that I can have a cap. I think I could have that option. I don't know. No, I didn't have the option. Okay, no problem. All right, so now I can use this to cut the object. I can go and hide this thing, which it was the join. And yeah, and now I should have something, well, weird. We will need to address this thing in here, but something weird between all these surfaces. So I'm not going to go through all of it, but what I'm going to do is just a bit of what we have in here, just so that you can see what we are going to do next time. So we do know that this, for example, fillet in here is going to be a small one. and definitely not 150 millimeters, so it should be somewhere like 20 or even a bit bigger, like 50. So we know that we would have something like 50 millimeters in there. We also know that in here we should have, I don't know, another probably 30 millimeters as a fillet. Yeah, I forgot about that thing that shouldn't exist in there anyway. So something like 30. Interesting. All right, so we know that we have all this. And we also know that we have that in here we should have like a big rounded radius or whatever. So let's see. So if I am doing this, for example, and I say, okay, I want curvature to that surface, and in here I also want curvature to that surface. Now I will be able to have some surface that is similar to a, that would be similar to a fillet after adjusting it. Of course, it will need not apply all, it will need the tangency handles to be separately adjusted. Okay, maybe something like this. And after this, knowing, of course, we will have to adjust also the where it is positioned, really. And having this, we can always transition towards the surface with the two fillets, which most probably we would be forced to make as well as boundary surface instead of keeping them as fillets. But anyway, it's just so that you can see what we are going to do next time, really. So now when I am in this situation, even maybe lower than this, I can, yeah, I think it should be lower. I can always transition these two fillets into the bigger fillet, but it's done manually. It's not going to SolidWorks is not going to know how to manage this kind of transition, so you will have to make them manually. It can be done in a few ways really, but one way would be to create curves, link them together. Another way could be to create surfaces, for example, like this one in here and this edge in there. So if I am, for example, go to this thing and I say, okay, I want to be in curvature and in here as well, but I will want to flip connectors. Yeah, so I will want to have a transition like this. Anyway, by controlling the curves or creating other curves, this one is still not as it should be, but you get the idea. Then in the end, you will be able to have a smooth transition from that corner towards something from this big fillet or next to be big fillet towards something better than that. The only thing is that right now I think what we can see already is the fact that that smooth transition shouldn't be so high. It should be way lower because otherwise it's not going to be smooth. So next time when we will create the cylinder, most probably it will be way lower, so that it can allow us to transition in here towards the bigger fillet. I don't know for sure yet, so I will have to see. It's not going to be a quick, easy fix and done once and be perfect. So we will have to experiment a little bit. But yeah, for now, in the more than 1 hour that it passed, I think it would be more than enough. So I'm thankful that you did stay along with me for all this time. And if you want to see how we arrived to where we are today, go check out the previous videos. I hope they are really interesting and useful for you. And yeah, I shall see you next time. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe. Don't forget. Bye.